Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Decided to get on here and do a little live before hop on the phones. Really just wanted to go over what's going on in the real estate market today and how you should be, very active when you're trying to acquire information and stuff like that. When it comes to, I mean, just learning your craft, right? This is part of the education. So, like, the education never stops because, as you know, markets don't stay the same, right? You may have, you may be in a bull or bear market for a while. You may be in a buyer's market, a seller's market for a while, but they tend to change, right? So, what I kind of want to go over is like what's going on in today's marketplace, and from a standpoint of you look at the 10-year treasury, right? And you see that mortgage rates tend to, they might be a little bit higher. So like I think the 10-year treasuries, I think it's like 4.5, 4.6 right now. So usually interest rates are tend to be like 2% higher than that to account for the risk. So I think like on average right now, your average interest rate is probably like around 6.3, 6.4. Um, I mean your mortgage rate. I'm sorry, but so and like I said, the 10-year treasury and the mortgage rates, how lenders set those rates, they really depend on the 10-year treasury, right? So if the 10-year treasury rises, you tend to see mortgage rates are going to rise, and then vice versa. And so it's very important for you to understand that, to kind of keep an eye on that. So like that's something you want to take a look at every single day, is what's going on in the market, right? You could take a look at commodities as well, but we're talking about real estate. So like the biggest thing I want to say for Texas moving forward, so talking about your Houston, your Dallas, your Texas Triangle, Houston, Dallas, and Austin, is going to be homeowners insurance. Texas is pretty much like, if you live in Houston, if you live in Dallas, or surrounding tertiary markets, we get storms like crazy. It's so consistent, right? And the payouts that these insurers have, I mean, so what you need to think about and what you need to consider is pretty much how insurance works, right? So Texas is a file in use state when it comes to insurance. So insurers, they can raise the rates, right? And then they'll get approval from the Department of Insurance later. California isn't like that. You have to get approval first before you can raise rates, right? So like insurers can change their they can change their rates. If you know, Houston hurricane season typically comes, if you're trying to get insurance and stuff like that, if you buy a home during that time period and you want to get quotes for homeowners insurance, or not even just a home, if you're buying um commercial real estate, right? If you're a multifamily investor, right? So if you passively invest in multifamily, if you are active investor, meaning you're a general partner, you go out and you find deals, you raise money, you raise the capital, put the deals together and stuff like that. This will, like, this affects your deal, this affects the returns. So it's very, this is something that's going on. I believe I read something last year, remember, that over the last 9 uh, insurance rates have gone up like 44%. So that's something that investors are really kind of looking at. Um, I don't know in terms of what's the solution there. I'm not really sure, because I do understand from both sides. Like, because with insurance, any type of insurance, you're paying for in case something happens, right? So we know every year we're going to probably get a bad hurricane every year. That's just like the way insurance companies are probably underwriting the state of Texas, especially North Texas, whether that's a hailstorm, a Hurricane Harvey, where Houston, it floods. Like, it's just, it is what it is. I think especially living here, I think it's safe to say that we're probably going to have these type of storms consistently. So I understand where insurance perspective is coming from. But even like when you're building homes, can you imagine, I don't know if builders kind of select the times a year that they want to build, because typically between May and September are the hottest times, right, to go out and buy a home for homeowners, because it's during the summertime. Obviously, school starts around August, September, so you want to be settled in before. And then during the holiday season, people are traveling. It's Thanksgiving, families coming in, Christmas, all that, New Year. So like that typically is slower during that time. So if you're putting a home on the market during that time, you can probably expect it to sit on the market for a few months. At least might start heating up around February, March. But typically, you want to list a property, between May and, I would say, August. Between May and August, you want to list that property. But that's how insurance rates are going to affect Texas, right? Obviously, with California, you see those fires in LA, that is insane. So I'm not sure how the insurance is going to work out there, with getting that stuff repaired. And it's just, I don't even know if it's really over yet. But that's something that we're dealing with here in Texas. So insurance is going to be a big thing. The Federal Reserve, they have their meeting, I think January 29th. So we'll see if they're going to drop their rates, mortgage rates by a few basis points. I would assume that's probably going to go down 50 basis points. But yeah, that's something that you need to think about as well. And and you can find out all this information. You just go to the Federal Reserve website, the Board of Governors, and find out when the meetings are. This is the kind of information that you need to be looking at on a day-to-day basis, kind of strengthening, so that way you can have these conversations with these builders, just with anybody. If you're having a conversation, like, you want to iron sharpens iron, right? You want to be as knowledgeable as possible for your market. And I believe, it's just very important. Like, outside of wholesaling land and all that, you want to engulf real estate. That's what you want to do. So we can kind of get back into talking about wholesaling land, but I just kind of wanted to tell you this is what's going on in the market right now. And if you have any specific questions or anything like that, go ahead and put them in the chat. We could talk about my land profit program. I have that. It's $97 one-time payment. Going to one-on-one work with you, one-on-one. You'll get all the documents that you need to wholesale land in whatever market that you're in. You'll go get the Excel spreadsheet that I use to not only evaluate and compare comps, but also put loan terms together for builders to help market some of my deals. You'll also get the access to a private Facebook group. You'll get access to the webinar. It's going to be one time a week. And then you'll have an onboarding call. We'll go over this stuff, to talk about your goals. You get your CRM set up, plus the lead generation. And so you get all of this for just $97. Like, the goal is to have you close a deal within 45 days. Your first 45 days, you should close a deal. That's the goal that I have for you. You know what I mean? And I believe in paying for information. Like, it is what it is. There's a lot of good. I think I post a lot of good free content. Like, I really do. Sharing documents, processes, and stuff like that, systems. It could be better for sure. I think what I'm gonna start doing, I'll do a video. My next video I'm gonna do is going through the CRM and the workflows and how that's set up, connected, running ads and stuff like that. I'm gonna show you my whole business, how I operate. I'm a one-man team, so I don't have like virtual cold callers or virtual, like, appointment setters, they call them. I don't have those. So I talk directly to all my leads. Not to say in the future I wouldn't do that, but if I was to bring somebody on the team, they would have to be here locally in Houston, or in Texas in general, for me to bring somebody on. But yeah, so today, what's on the agenda? I try to make between 50 to 75 dials a day. So I have some follow-ups that I need to do from yesterday. I got one lead yesterday, which is pretty solid. So I'm going to follow up with her. Outside of that, there's a meetup today that I'm going to. It's from 5:30 to 8:30. Just getting out. That's one of the things that I wanted to do this year. One of my goals was to start going out to more meetups. I get so hyper focused on, like, trying to close a deal, spending my time trying to close a deal. But relationships are important. That they just, especially in this business, this is a full-on teamwork business. If you're going to scale in real estate, you got to have a team around you. The most successful realtors have teams. That, like, the first thing that you, when you start making money, the first thing that you need to do is start trying to put a team together. So like when you, like with wholesaling is really kind of simple because you only need, there's only three real needs. There's acquisitions, dispositions, and then there's like a closing coordinator. Those are really the only three positions that you need. Now you can get more of those of each, but an acquisitions person, that's the person who's going to be making calls, right? You can kind of set it up to where you might have a appointment setter. Your job is to cold call. That's your job, is to cold call, follow up on leads, and set the appointment for the acquisitions agent, right? Your job is to get on the phone, evaluate the deal first, get on the phone, call them, get them under contract, right? Once they're under contract, your dispositions person, your job is to find the end buyer, right? Find the end buyer. And then you have your closing coordinator or your transaction coordinator. Their job is to communicate with title, communicate on the back end to the end buyer to request documents from the end buyer if necessary, and to schedule, coordinate closings and stuff. Like that's really all you need. That's really it. It's not complicated. And it kind of goes like that for realtors as well. Because you notice when you see realtors and they're successful, it's like I'm Savion Miller, leader of the Miller team here in Houston. When you have a team of realtors, you're going to move further faster. And that's a team, like a team. I said a team of realtors. I mean a team. A team is going to get you there because it's only so much that it's only so many calls that I can make in a day. If I had three people, right, and we were each doing 75 dials a day, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about the probability of getting like the leads that you're getting. If I had three people, three different Facebook accounts running ads, think about that. Three different Facebook accounts running three different ads, like we're each going, I don't know. I got 5 ads running on mine. You got 5. You got 5. Think about the inbound leads that the more that we would get. That's how you have to think about this. You don't have to rush it. Don't, because at the end of the day, that shit costs money. Running Facebook ads and stuff costs money. Like I do. I'll try to do like maybe 3 days a week. I'll run the ads because I test them. It's $50 a day, so that's 150. That's $600 a month just on ads, and that's not even a lot. That's not even a lot. Like I know people that spend $50 a day every day of the month. So it's just about, because you have to think about when you're putting out the form for them to sign. There might, if they're online doing it, at that point you need to have a landing page set up. Your landing page needs to be connected to your CRM, right? So you can see the lead come in, obviously. So it's just like that's further down the line, but that's how you start to scale. You begin to scale by doing things like that. That right there is like putting out some ads. And you have to think like a marketer, right? Like an advertiser, get somebody to click on it. What's going to suck them in? You can record a video and go on Fiverr and tell them, hey, this is for a Facebook ad. If you don't know, I would suggest like going to YouTube if you're looking at trying to get into using ads, and just look at how to build an ad out and just build the ad out while you're watching the video. Like while you're doing it, build it out. I'm one of those type of learners. All it takes for me is to do it. Like if I watch a video, then I try to go do it. It's like I'll find myself going back and forth to the video. I have to do it while they're doing it, because it's like it's still a muscle memory thing, right? So that's why I would say like the team aspect. That's probably what I'm going to try to add in this year. I have a goal this year to do 150,000. That's my goal. I'm a full-time wholesaler, but I still have a full-time job. So 150 grand is the goal that I have for myself. And I think in order to hit that mark, I would probably need to be adding some acquisition, some appointment setters on. Um, I would say by April. I believe, from right now, like I said, I have a few leads I need to follow up on. I'm not sure if they're probably going to close this month, just kind of depending on, you know, where they're at, how title is. But yeah, for the most part, that's the goal that I have for myself, is just 150,000 is the goal. I definitely believe I can hit that number. It's going to take a bunch of calls. It's going to take systems, right? So the CRM that I started using, it has everything incorporated, workflows. So like if I call a seller and they say they're not interested, I can just click not interested. It'll move them to a certain workflow where it'll wait. It'll send them a text like, I appreciate your time on the phone today. Um, if anything changes in a few months, or if anything changes, please, reach out to me, right? Then it sets it like for them to get a call, well, for them to be on my call in the next 2 months, right? But so, and I have another workflow where if they're interested and let's say they didn't agree on the price, right? At that point, they send it to another workflow. Hey, appreciate the time. If my price is cash, if anything changes, please give me a call, and then it shoots them down to a follow up system that I follow up with them maybe a week, 2 weeks. If I call and I leave a voicemail, right, and they don't answer, it puts them on a workflow for me to call them back before the end of the day, right? And then if they don't answer, it puts them in my list for the next day. I call them, I try to contact the number, a working number. I try to hit it 5 times. After 5 times, then I have a workflow for that. After the fifth call with no answer, it takes them off my callers. So like that's how my workflows are. Facebook leads and stuff like that I get from the ads. It comes in and it'll automatically move it. Here's a lead, and then it has a lead form that they fill out. So like the first name, last name, email, phone number, address, and that's important because I have email workflows as well. So you shoot them a text, shoot them an email, and it's good to do it that way because they've already opted in, right? So I know that they might be changing laws and stuff like that with text blasting. Me personally, I don't text blast. I prefer to get on the phone because it is property, right? So I prefer to get on the phone, talk to these people, understand their expectations and stuff like that, try to manage their expectations. And I believe like that system right there is going to kind of set me up to do some good things this year. And also I'm going to do more. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start purchasing again off of PropStream, purchasing land leads. I'm gonna go down and get some probate leads and stuff like that, because I typically just find vacant land on Regrid and skip trace and call. Like that's kind of how I build my stuff out. And I mean, it's been working, but it's just kind of hard to scale that because it's super time sensitive. Maybe I can probably try to get hire somebody, but I really don't trust I don't trust the virtual assistants that like live in India and Pakistan and shit like that. Like I hired one last year. This dude wasn't even doing the work. Like this dude literally hired somebody else, right? And then when I asked him about, because I have my software, I can chime in on the calls. I can jump in on the call. I can take over a call. And his voice wasn't sounding right. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? This isn't this guy. So I asked him about it. At first he was like, no. And then I was like, bro, this isn't you. First, no, he said no, he's a little under the weather. And I was like, this isn't you. And then finally he was like, are you opposed to me bringing on somebody else and doing it? Like, it's like he was trying to create him a little call center out there. I think that's a popular thing that a lot of them do, but I was like, man, fuck no. And then me personally, when you hear their voice on the phone or initial call, you just assume they're trying to sell you some shit and you hang up. That's what I do. I hang the fuck up. So I was like, no, this ain't it. I'd rather have somebody local like that. They can relate to the person. They can talk about the city of Houston, the city of Dallas, Austin, whatever. So that's the reason behind that. But it's 10:33. I went over a little bit. Like I said, I just wanted to get on here, talk about what's going on in the market. Let you know I know about my program and my goals for the year, right? So probably do some more of these, but got to get on the phone, got to get going. Let's go close some deals.